I once wired some $1 million into a company I never visited. No factory tour, no handshake with the founder, no spreadsheet that could have talked me out of it. People ask me all the time, how do you know where to put your money? Wrong question. The real question is, what did I put into myself before I ever had money worth investing? Because here's a secret the broke version of you doesn't want to hear. The wealthy don't get rich by finding the right stock. They get rich by becoming the kind of person the right stock finds. Sit with that for the next 10 minutes. I'm going to tell you exactly what I poured into myself before the world poured anything into me. When I was 23, I had $400 to my name. I could have bought a suit. I could have bought a plane ticket. Instead, I bought books, stacks of them. There's an economist named Benjamin Graham who wrote something decades ago that rewired how I saw money forever. The idea that the intelligent investor isn't the one with the highest IQ. It's the one with the right temperament. Discipline over genius. That single idea saved me from a dozen reckless decisions before I turned 30. Warren Buffett, a man who studied under Graham himself, has said for years that the best investment you will ever make is in your own mind and your own skills. Not a single wealthy person I have ever sat across a table from disagrees with that. Not one. You want to know why the poor stay poor and the rich stay rich? It's rarely about the starting capital. It's about what's sitting between their ears. Here's what nobody puts on a motivational poster. Skills compound exactly like interest does. The hours I spent learning to read a balance sheet at 24 are still paying me dividends at 48. The hours I spent learning to negotiate, to speak in front of a room without my voice shaking, to understand a contract without a lawyer holding my hand, those hours never stopped working for me. Not once. Not during a recession. Not during a divorce. Not during the years the market handed me nothing but losses. Charlie Munger, Buffett's longtime partner, built his entire philosophy on this. The idea that you should go to bed a little wiser than you woke up. He wasn't talking about one subject. He read psychology, physics, history, biology, because he understood that the mind that can think across disciplines sees opportunities the specialist mind walks right past. I didn't inherit a fortune. I inherited a library card and a stubborn refusal to stay ignorant. That was my seed money. Everything else was compound interest. Robert Kiyosaki drew a simple picture in his book about a rich dad and a poor dad. Assets put money in your pocket, liabilities take money out. Most people apply that to real estate and stocks. Almost nobody applies it to themselves. But you are an asset or a liability too. An untrained mind, a body that can't get through a workday without burning out, a reputation nobody thrusts. Those are liabilities. They cost you opportunities you'll never even know you missed. Meanwhile, a mind sharpened by constant learning, a body that gives you 30 extra productive years, the name people vouch for in rooms you're not even in. Those appreciate faster than any property I've ever owned. I've bought buildings that lost value the year after I signed the deed. I have never once regretted a year spent getting sharper. Let me tell you something the finance books skip. Money means nothing if you don't have the energy to enjoy the decisions it lets you make. I have sat in boardrooms with men worth more than me who couldn't climb a flight of stairs without stopping. I have watched brilliant deals fall apart because the man across the table was too exhausted, too sick, too checked out to close it. Your body is the vehicle every other investment rides in. Neglect it, and it doesn't matter how much is in the account. You won't be around or well enough to spend it. The wealthiest people I know treat sleep like a shareholder meeting they refuse to miss. They treat their training like a board obligation. That's not vanity. That's asset protection. Thomas Stanley spent years studying self-made millionaires for his research on how ordinary people quietly build extraordinary wealth. One pattern showed up again and again. These people were relentless about who they spent time with. They surrounded themselves with people who made them better, sharper, more disciplined. And they walked away, without guilt, from people who didn't. I stopped taking calls from friends who only wanted to talk about problems and never about solutions. I started actually paying for mentorship from people 10 steps ahead of me. That felt insane at 26, handing over money I didn't have much of to sit across from someone smarter than me. It's the highest return decision I ever made. Your network isn't just who claps for you. It's who's honest enough to tell you when your thinking is small. Napoleon Hill spent 20 years interviewing the richest men of his era, and he came away with one conclusion that outlived every fortune he studied. Wealth begins as a state of mind before it ever becomes a bank balance. I believe that with everything in me, because I lived it in reverse. I had the mindset before I had the money. The money just eventually caught up to the man I'd already built. So before you ask me what to invest in, the stock, the property, the business, ask yourself what you invested in you this week. What did you read? What skill got sharper? What conversation made you more disciplined instead of more comfortable? Because the market will crash. Currencies will devalue, industries will die overnight and take fortunes down with them. But what you build inside yourself, no recession has ever touched that. No thief has ever stolen it. No one can repossess it. Invest there first. Everything else you're chasing will follow you home. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and drop a comment. See you in the next one.